Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, did not finish off the All-Star break, the games before the All-Star break like we really wanted to. Could have used at least one more win against the Marlins, and there was one to be had, but they just blew their opportunity because that's what the Orioles do. Just like they blew an opportunity when they traded Kyle Stowers away. Yeah. That didn't work out too well. Because, yeah, you picked Stowers over Kjerstad, or really you picked to keep Kjerstad over keeping Stowers because you really couldn't keep them both. Not that you really have place for both of them, a left-handed outfielder, which you already have several of. It's fine. Keep one, get rid of one. Well, you picked Kjerstad, you got rid of Stowers, which I wasn't a fan of it. Back when they made the trade, I wasn't a fan that Kyle Stowers never got any playing time. How can you evaluate a guy when you don't even give him playing time? But what I saw from Kjerstad immediately was, okay, maybe he'll have more power than Kyle Stowers. Maybe. It's really debatable. Because to a certain extent, the pitcher supplies a lot of the power. You really got to put wood to ball. And that's what really makes the home run sometimes. But with Kjerstad, I didn't see any ability to play defense. With Stowers, I did. Okay, were they both young, untrained, didn't look that good out there. But I saw the more potential being with Stowers instead of being with Kjerstad. Because Kjerstad's a liability in the outfield. Stowers is not. And oh, by the way, not only did Kyle Stowers hit a bunch of home runs against the Orioles, bringing his total this season to 19. He also threw a guy out. Because, yeah, he can play defense as well. So when a hitter slumps, which they're always going to slump, hell, Aaron Judge has slumped. You put him out there on defense, and if they're a liability at defense, you're hurting. You're not getting any benefit. You're getting poor play in the outfield. Whereas if and Aaron Judge or Stowers, if they're slumping at the plate, you know what? At least they're not giving away runs in the field. Okay. However, that will not be the last time I rant about this video. So you can see them on MassivSports.com. Let's get to game one of the series. Miami Marlins 2, Baltimore Orioles 5. There's one win at least. Anyway, 7 games under 500. This number looked a lot better. Damn bastards. Holiday 1 hit, Westberg 3 hits and an RBI, Henderson 1 hit, walked twice, O'Hearn 2 hits, 2 RBIs, Ryno 3 hits, 2 RBIs, Kowser, Ofer, Tyler O'Neill 1 hit, Mullins 1 hit. Yeah, that's why they're kind of at the bottom of the lineup, isn't it? Jacob Stallings, Ofer, 2 strikeouts. Yeah. He's your 5th option at catcher. You don't expect too much out of them. Liriano, O'Hearn, Holiday with doubles. And that was it. Mullins stole a base. Dean Kramer start in this game. Stop talking about day game Dino, and he actually pitches good. You jinxed him. Talking about the last game he pitched. Going 7 full innings here. Giving up 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Yeah. Yanier Cano pitching the full 8th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Andrew Kittredge. Ugh, man. Well, somewhat of a blowout game. It was 5-0 when Kittredge came in. Oh, and of course, all on the broadcast. More by, Kevin Brown, not necessarily Ben McDonald. It's Ben McDonald, Kevin Brown on the Masson broadcast. Talking about how Kittredge has had near perfect outings in recent selections, calls from the bullpen. Yeah. And almost immediately after Kevin Brown said it, bam! Runs on the board. I get that you're trying to put out information, but is there a way to do it without saying, oh, he's been perfect so far? And then giving up runs. Is there a better way to do it? I feel like there's got to be a better way to do it. But again, hindsight argument there. However, Pitches the full ninth inning. Andrew Kittredge gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Well, won the game anyway. Let's get to game 2. Miami Marlins 6, Baltimore Orioles nothing. And you can see 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, 4 in the 9th. Yeah, it was pretty much over by then. Holiday 1 hit, Westberg 0 for, Henderson 2 hits, O'Hearn hit and a walk, Loriano 1 hit, Cowser 1 hit, O'Neill 0 for, Mullins 0 for, Stallings 0 for, Arias pinch hitting late, nothing. Alex Jackson does not get an at bat, coming in to replace Arias because Arias isn't going to catch. 2 doubles by Henderson. Alright. 2 stolen bases by Cowser. O'Hearn fielding error was early in the game. It didn't really come back to hurt. Really, he just dropped a scoop. Yeah, I don't know who this junk was, but he was throwing some super junk that day. Whew. Trevor Rogers gets a start in this game, and no, he didn't have a bad performance. He had a good performance, and the Orioles hitters just decided not to put any offense up. That's about how I go doing it. Yep. Trevor Rogers, 6 2/3 of an innings pitched, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Yeah, that's a great performance. So yeah, it's not necessarily that it didn't like the trade overall. It was more who the Orioles got up, or who the Orioles gave up. I certainly understand the philosophy, and this philosophy Michael Elias has had almost his whole time as a GM. Yes, they have more recently started drafting pitchers, but early he wasn't drafting pitchers. To a certain extent, it's because that position is more volatile, and the hitters are a little bit easier to develop. And therefore, that's, capital in going out and getting either more prospects or this ace or that stud masher or what have you. Because the pitchers can get injured, and they are a little tougher to develop because of that. But it was more, I didn't like that it was Norby and Stowers. I feel like, I don't know why you had to give up 2. But at the same time, then it was Stowers, and I liked Stowers. I wanted him to stay on his team. I thought he brought things to the table at the plate and in defense. Whereas, again, Kjerstad, no. All he brought to you was offense. He didn't bring you defense. Okay, he had a very strong arm. Was it accurate? No, not really. To a certain extent, maybe the Orioles think that they can teach Kjerstad how to play the outfield. Well, they're not doing a very good job. Because they had, all last year to teach him how to play the outfield. And then you come see him early this year, and he's terrible still. Now, to a certain extent, what happens if Yankee pitchers don't hit Kjerstad in the head? Which, I'll never let that go because I think they were throwing at him. He was getting off to a really good start. He was mashing home runs. Bam, they plunked him. On purpose. That's what you do. Yeah. You think that's not something clubs do? Yeah. Especially clubs that feel they are entitled to win every year. So yeah, they'll take out the competition. Sounds like something the New York Yankees would do. It doesn't sound like it to you? And again, I watched the footage. I feel like the pitcher's shoulders and feet were lined up towards the left-handed batter's box, not home plate. That's just me. I don't exactly know how to pitch in the major leagues, but I do know if your shoulders and your feet are pointed towards the batter box and not the plate, that's where the ball's gonna go. However, let's get back to this. Gregory Soto in to finish out the 7th inning. Does give up a hit, but no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. All right. Sir Anthony Dominguez on for the 8th inning. Pitching the full 8th inning, does give up 2 hits and the 1 run, but no walks, no strikeouts. Game's still within reach here, but the offense has to do something. And they don't. And then Blewett kind of blows it for you. Pitching the full ninth inning, Blewett gives up 4 hits, 4 runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Yep, definitely blowing it there. And here's where you really blew it. Game 3, Miami Marlins 11, Baltimore Orioles 1. Back up to 9 games below 500. Yay! Holiday 1 hit. Westberg over. David Benuelos pinch hitting late. Over. Gunnar Henderson over. Luis Vasquez getting some time to play late. Over. Ryno Hearn over. Kobe Mayo finally getting into the game. Over. Probably what happens when you don't play him enough. Oh, we're trying to win. We're trying to win. I get it, but you could have found at least one game, maybe even 2 more games in the last, what have they been documenting? The last 11 games, Kobe Mayo's got 2 starts. You could have found 2 games where you give Mayo the start. And part of it is because he doesn't hurt you defensively. Look, you're not going to get all kind of offense out of everybody at all times. You never know. Look, O'Hearn didn't do much this whole series. You could have put Mayo in there. Maybe Mayo could have done something. You have no idea. But then at the same time, at the opportune moment, because O'Hearn is the more regular guy, he does have more regular at-bats, pinch hitting him is different than, let's say, pinch hitting Kobe Mayo here. Now, this is more of a replacement because the game was out of reach, so it was just getting O'Hearn out of here and putting Mayo in. But it's different because Mayo doesn't have the plate experience. He doesn't have, or not even plate experience, but he's had too many off days. It's not the same with O'Hearn. He's ready to go because he has how many bats yesterday or the game before. You can't say that with Mayo. However, do whatever. Honestly, really, why I think they really ended up losing this game here is because they did get on base early, but then started running early and too many outs on the base paths. Henderson thrown out. Holiday, gets to second base, and then he's wandering off second base too far. So I'll come back to the pitcher, and he gets thrown out. Which I don't know why, when the pitcher throws to second base, why you don't try to go to third. Why you go into second base? You were halfway there anyway. Make the second baseman throw to third to try to get you out, and maybe even the guy that hits the ball can move up to second. Because you're going to be out. I mean, you're too far off of second base. I don't know what the hell you were doing. But again, why are you so far off of second base? Why are you so far off of second base? You're already in scoring position. Laureano trying to steal third gets thrown out. Look, I mean, you get out of the danger early, and then Uri, I'll get to his name in a minute. Hopefully I do a better pronunciation then. Then he's able to settle in. You take the momentum from getting the hit to getting thrown out on the bases. Instead of you having momentum, now the Marlins have momentum. That's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. However, I mean, do whatever, y'all. Cows are over. Arias over. 3 strikeouts. Mullins 2 hits. Alex Jackson over. Laureano double or a home run. Again, caught stealing Laureano Henderson. Brandon Young getting the start in this game. Again, he really shouldn't be out there. I think he can be a good starting pitcher. It's just another year or 2 of experience and whatnot. But Bradish, Wells, Rodriguez, Eflin, Povich, within the next month-ish, I'd say at least one of those 5 is back in the rotation. So that would be good. Brandon Young not in there anymore. And hopefully you get at least one more. So I have to see that. I have a few articles to talk about. But yeah, Brandon Young is a little bit outmatched here. Only able to go 4 1/3 of an inning, giving up 9 hits, 7 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Again, some of that Kyle Stowers. What did Kyle Stowers do this game? 5 hits, 6 RBIs. 3 home runs. Yuri Perez is his name. That's the Marlins starting pitcher. Yuri Perez. Yeah. Yeah. However. Oh, yeah. Kyle Stowers. All-star team. 19 home runs. I mentioned the 19 home runs. Yeah. So I don't get why you gave him up. Whatever. Grant Wolfram coming in relief of Brandon Young, pitching 1 2/3 of an inning. Giving you another lefty out there since all you had was Soto because Aiken's injured list. Does give up the 1 hit, but no runs. Does walk 1 strikeout. It's good 1 inning and 2/3. It's not bad between a starter and a long man to go through 6 innings. It's really not terrible. You can do that. It's not too taxing on your bullpen. You should be fine. You just need to not give up 7 runs and maybe have your offense do something instead of doing nothing. Except getting thrown out on the bases. Yeah, good job. Oh, letting the young kids do what they're thinking. No, you're the manager. You should be in more control of that. Instead of letting them run wild like they're damn horses. I know we're in Maryland and we like horses, but these kids shouldn't be running all over the place. Colin Selby in for the 7th inning, pitching the full 7th inning. Does give up 3 hits and 1 run. No walks, no strikeouts. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. Nobody cares. Yanier Cano in for the 8th inning. Again, nobody cares because it's over. Kyle Stowers had already taken over the game and the Orioles offense couldn't do anything. Pitching the full 8th inning for Cano. 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Andrew Kittredge finally getting back on his horse. Pitching the full 9th inning, does give up a hit, but no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. However, way to go into the break, you douchebags. Damn losers. All right, let's get to a few articles, a few injury updates and whatnot. Article written by Rock Kabatko talking about, a few things, but more importantly, what I'm taking away from this article, in this one specifically, there are a few other articles to talk about the Povich and the Eflin thing, but the Trump and the Hanley thing, they're progressing. It actually seems like Trump should be a little ahead of Hanley, starting a rehab assignment soon, but Hanley just recently being cleared to do some activities. Not even all baseball activities, just some activities. So Hanley and his concussion history, they're taking a lot of precaution. As well, they should. It's fine. It's just, yeah, Hanley's going to be a while. And again, some of it is because he does have a history with this. And it's not a great history. Another article here by Rock Kabatko talking about Rutschman and Keegan Aiken. Keegan Aiken set to begin a rehab stint today. Today's Monday, yeah. At least in this article, Rock says Monday. Well, I assume the Monday being today, because this article is a few days old. I'm not Keegan Aiken. Yes, I was talking about Keegan Aiken and him starting the rehab assignment, again, scheduled for today. According to this article, Adley Rutschman did take batting practice from both sides of the plate. So that's, progressing. We get somebody back. And the catching side of it, 4 of them on the injury list. And it appears Sanchez and Hanley are not coming back anytime soon. Very disappointing. Excuse me. Also mentioned here about Adley Rutschman is later on in the week sometime he will go down to Florida and catch Kyle Bradish. Um, it's somewhat odd because you have to send him down to Florida. Now, I don't know what the scheduling is. I'll get to the scheduling in a moment because you're sending him to Florida to catch Bradish. And then what? Rutschman will go on a rehab assignment somewhere. I guess that's fine. Get those guys together working to a certain extent since hopefully they will be working in major league action within the next month. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Kyle Bradish can make it back within a month. I mean, in theory, it does make sense, but at the same with the traveling, I'm not sure that it makes that much sense. But y'all do whatever you got to do. This article here by Rod Kabako. Scott Blewett going to the injury list, and this was the 13th, which was yesterday. So yeah, Sunday morning sometime, Scott Blewett's got to go to the injury list. Oh, and they also, before they found out Scott Blewett needed to go to the injury list, they decided to recall Grant Wolfram and DFA, designate for assignment, Corbin Martin. Cool, wonderful timing, awesome. So David Benuelos, I mentioned he did get an at bat. He was actually who replaced Blewett on the roster, which was awesome. This is Eflin and Povich. Eflin and Povich have, I'll get the article written here by Rock Kabatko. Povich and Eflin have already begun their rehab assignments. They pitched several innings over the weekend and are scheduled to have another outing of some kind this coming Friday and Saturday. Why that many days off? I'm not exactly sure. Because that seems like a week off instead of the 5 days. You would think Thursday and Friday respectively. I mean, if they were pitching Saturday, they're not ready to go by Thursday. Odd. Especially, it's not like they went out there and threw 100 pitches. They went 4 innings total. Okay. Do whatever you gotta do. Do whatever you gotta do. It's fine. But it does appear that everything went fine with them. At least nothing was reported. So they did their outings and they're good. Cool. Awesome. This article here by Rock Kabatko. Today's article saying David Benuelos back to AAA Norfolk. Who's coming up to take his spot? That has not been announced, apparently. Cool. I only assume they sent him back to AAA Norfolk because he needs to get in some game action. And since the Baltimore Orioles, are not going to play for 4 or 5 days, there's no need for another move. Sure, I guess. It kind of makes sense here because you won't play a game for a while and you want Benuelos to get some action in. However, all right, let's get to the schedule. Get the hell out of here. Quick one this time, yeah. All right, so Home Run Derby tonight, then All-Star Game Tuesday, tomorrow, off day for everybody, Wednesday. Then some action for some teams starts up again Thursday, but then Friday, everybody's back into the swing of things. Just like the Baltimore Orioles will be, they'll be at Tampa Bay. So sending Adley Rutschman to Florida. Could he be reactivated this weekend? Maybe? Possible? You send him down there to work with Kyle Bradish. He does a catching session with him Friday or Saturday, and maybe you think, he's good to go. Bam, stick him back in there. Possible. Because honestly, why would you send Adley Rutschman on a rehab assignment? He's not going to be any worse than the 2 guys you got right now. With all due respect to Jacob Stallings and Alex Jackson. They're just not going to be as good. And at the same time, why would you keep both of them? Yes, Baltimore Orioles will be at the Tampa Bay Rays coming out of the All-Star break. Friday's game scheduled 7:35. Saturday's game scheduled 7:05. Sunday's game scheduled 12:10. However, man, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I guess maybe one of those is Apple TV? Maybe? I don't know. I have to keep an eye on that. Whatever. Then no off day Monday as they'll start a 4-game set with the Guardians. So that will do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. And no. Doing a little bit of family vacation. I should have probably thought about this before. I did think about it, and it's just... Yeah, I don't plan on... Because I'm going to be out of town, I don't plan on doing anything to talk about the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Baltimore Orioles. So, yeah. Taking that series off. So, again, the Guardians, Monday... 4-game set. Monday's game scheduled 6:40. Tuesday's game scheduled 6:40. Wednesday's game scheduled 6:40. Well, thank you for the consistency. I do appreciate that. Thursday's game scheduled 1:10. No off day Friday. Starting a series with the Rockies. So yeah, again, that's going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. I may talk a bit about the Rays series when I talk about the Guardian series, but that video will drop Friday, as in next Friday. So stay tuned for that. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.